Listen, because this matters. Your life is not an accident. It is not some random, inconsequential blip in the vast unfolding of time. You are here, and that alone is a burden and an opportunity. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Life is suffering. This is an undeniable truth. No matter who you are, you will encounter hardship, tragedy, and chaos. But the question is not whether suffering exists. The question is what you will do in the face of it. Will you crumble, looking for an easy way out? Or will you take up the burden and march forward with dignity? Responsibility is the antidote to despair. It is what gives your life meaning. Think about it. What happens when people abandon responsibility? They become weak. They drift through life, blaming others for their misfortune, chasing temporary pleasures and avoiding the truth about themselves. And where does that lead? To resentment, self-loathing, and suffering far worse than the weight of responsibility itself. But responsibility is not just about duty. It is about transformation. When you choose to take on the greatest burden you can carry, you become something more than you were before. You develop strength, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You become someone who can be relied upon, who can withstand the storm, who can inspire others. Consider history's greatest figures. People who shaped the world. Were they running from responsibility? No, they bore it, often at great personal cost. They did not shrink from difficulty. They confronted it head on, and in doing so, they left a mark that transcended their own lives. But you don't have to be a historical figure to live a meaningful life. It starts with simple daily choices. Take responsibility for yourself first. Get your life in order before you try to fix the world. Start small. Clean your room. Show up on time. Speak the truth. Stop making excuses. These are not trivial acts. They are the foundation upon which a life worth living is built. And then when you are strong enough, take on something greater. Care for your family, help your community, stand up for what is right, even when it is difficult. Take the burden, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. Because the alternative, living without responsibility, is far worse. Some might say, why should I bear this weight? Why should I struggle when life is so unfair? And the answer is simple, because the struggle makes you, because the alternative is weakness, bitterness, and regret, because in responsibility you find purpose. So ask yourself, what is the heaviest load you can carry? What can you do today that will make you stronger tomorrow? Take that burden, bear it with pride, and in doing so, transform not only yourself, but the world around you. Because a life of responsibility is a life of meaning, and that is a life worth living. Life is unpredictable, full of chaos, suffering, and uncertainty. No matter how carefully you plan, no matter how much you try to shield yourself, there will be moments when everything falls apart, when betrayal cuts deep, when failure knocks you down, when the world seems cruel and indifferent to your struggles. In these moments, you are faced with a choice: confront reality head on or retreat into comfortable illusions. You are capable of far more than you think. But unless you aim at something meaningful, something challenging, you will never realize your potential. Too many people drift through life without direction, without purpose, without a clear understanding of who they are or what they should become. They settle for mediocrity, trapped by fear, laziness, or the mistaken belief that they are powerless. But they are wrong. Aiming high is not just about achieving success in the way society defines it. It is about striving to be the best possible version of yourself, morally, intellectually, physically, spiritually. It is about becoming someone you can respect, someone others can admire and rely on, someone who leaves the world a little better than they found it. But aiming high is not easy. It requires discipline, effort, and a willingness to face failure. It means setting clear goals, not just vague desires, but well-defined targets that challenge you to grow. It means identifying your values, truth, courage, responsibility, integrity, and living by them even when it is difficult. Because without values, without a guiding principle, you will be tossed around by life's chaos, uncertain of who you are or what you stand for. Excellence is not something that happens by accident. It is earned, one decision at a time. It is built through the small daily habits that shape your character. Wake up on time. Work hard, even when no one is watching. Tell the truth, even when a lie would be easier. Face adversity with resilience instead of seeking the easy way out. These are the foundations of a strong, meaningful life. But many people do not aim high because they are afraid. Afraid of failing, afraid of being judged, afraid of realizing how much work it will take to become something great. So they shrink their ambitions, convincing themselves that an average life is good enough. But deep down, they know better. They feel the weight of unfulfilled potential, the regret of wasted time, and regret, in the end, is far worse than failure. Do not let fear stop you. Instead, let it guide you. Fear tells you where you need to grow. If something scares you, it probably means it is important. So do it anyway. Set your aim high and go after it with everything you have. When you fail, and you will, learn from it, adjust, and keep going, because every step forward, every inch of progress brings you closer to the person you were meant to become. Time is passing, whether you use it wisely or waste it. Every moment counts. Do not wait for life to hand you purpose. Create it. Choose a goal that is worth striving for. Pursue it with everything you have. And in doing so, you will not only build a life worth living, you will inspire others to do the same.